Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll go over the structures of the spinal cord cross-section model. First of all, we notice that we have two different colors. The lighter area represents the white matter of the spinal cord, which is rich in myelinated axons. That's why it appears lighter in color. Whereas the darker area represents the gray matter. The gray matter appears darker in color because it is rich in the neuron cell bodies. Now, it is very important to know the anterior. The other word for anterior is ventral. Anterior meaning it's toward the front aspect of the spinal cord from the posterior aspect of the spinal cord. Posterior means toward the back, the dorsum, also called dorsal. So right here is the anterior aspect. This right here is the posterior aspect. If you notice, if I divide this into two halves, right here, this right is the anterior. The gray matter right here doesn't reach the margin, whereas on the posterior aspect, the gray matter does reach the margin. Also, if you notice the difference between these two, there is this bulge nodule right here on the dorsal, the posterior aspect, where it's not right here in the anterior aspect. Now let's start with the gray matter. The gray matter has three horns. So right here, this is the ventral horn, this is the lateral horn facing toward the side, and this is the dorsal horn toward the back. Again, that's the ventral horn, lateral horn, dorsal horn. In the center of the gray matter, we have the central canal, which is this one right here. Also around the central canal, we have the gray commissure. Now let's move to the white matter. The white matter is made of white columns, also called the funiculus. So right here, we have the anterior funiculus toward the anterior aspect, the lateral funiculus toward the lateral aspect, and the posterior funiculus toward the posterior aspect. Also called the anterior white column, the lateral white column, and the posterior white column. Both sides are connected together via the white commissure. Now we have two important structures, this one and that one. Both they have one word in common, which is median. This right here is the anterior median fissure. Fissure means a deeper cut. Anterior because it is on the anterior aspect. This right here is the posterior median sulcus. Posterior because it's on the posterior aspect, and median right here. Sulcus means a superficial cut. Now let's move to the last part right here. First of all, these two are called roots. However, these are the ventral roots, and these are the dorsal roots. They look like a plant root right here. On that dorsal root, we have this structure, which is the dorsal root ganglion, also called the spinal ganglion. Now, both the ventral root and the dorsal root, they unite together to give us this structure right here, this sort right here, which is the spinal nerve. The spinal nerve will split to give us the ventral ramus right here, the ramus communicants right here, and the dorsal ramus of the spinal nerve.